Elsewhere, for the Duke of Sussex, he's going to discover whether he's won a Court of Appeal challenge over his security arrangements while in the UK.
They said she stayed out of the drama. They said she never took sides. But one quiet move from Princess Catherine may have changed everything, and the timing couldn't be worse for Harry and Meghan. While the Sussexes fight battles in court and in public, a subtle moment unfolded that drew powerful comparisons behind palace walls and inside government offices. No statements, no interviews, just a contrast that's hard to ignore. Was this accidental or a silent signal? And how did it suddenly put the Sussexes on the back foot? That's where this story begins. Harry's fight for royal security. Prince Harry's ongoing legal battle with the UK Home Office is about more than safety. It's about status. Since stepping down as a working royal in 2020, Harry has sought the right to pay for police protection while visiting the UK personally. He argues his family faces a serious risk, and that visits are impossible without state-level security. In court documents, Harry has described the UK as home, maintaining that his profile still warrants protection. In a statement tied to the case, he said the UK is central to the heritage of my children and a place I want them to feel at home, adding that this cannot happen if there is no possibility to keep them safe when they are on UK soil. The argument has failed to persuade many. Critics say publicly managed security should be reserved for working royals, not private citizens who stepped away by choice. In one ruling, a judge rejected Harry's request to reinstate police protection, stating officers should not act as private bodyguards for the wealthy. The case continues with no clear resolution. Outside the courtroom, the picture remains mixed. Harry has attended UK events such as the Well Child Awards with private security, while also requesting limited publicity, fueling debate over whether the concern matches his visibility. At the same time, Harry has pursued parallel lawsuits against the UK media. In a witness statement against the publisher of the Daily Mail, he said he brought the claim because I love my country, and is concerned about unchecked power, influence, and criminality. Together, these cases suggest Harry is fighting not just for security, but for the identity he left behind. And while Harry argues his case loudly through the courts, someone else made a statement so quiet it barely registered. Until it did. Catherine's dinner. That said everything. While Prince Harry battles for state-level security and media control, Catherine, Princess of Wales, quietly made her point without saying a word. It all unfolded at a small bistro in Hungerford, where she celebrated her birthday with close family. No motorcade, no flashing press, just a quiet dinner with simple meals under £25 and a few discreet security personnel. The owner posted about the visit on Instagram days later, expressing gratitude for serving her. There were no leaks, no paparazzi frenzies, and certainly no drama. It was an example of how even one of the world's most photographed women can move with dignity and privacy when she chooses to. This subtle public appearance became an unspoken contrast to Harry and Meghan's approach. Whether it's arriving at events with full entourages or requesting crowds not make eye contact, as was rumored during Meghan's Drew Barrymore appearance, the Sussexes seemed to attract attention even when asking for none. Catherine's dinner did more than showcase elegance. It showed restraint, humility, and understanding of her public role. She maintained the line between royal and relatable. And in doing so, she sent a silent but powerful message. Real royalty doesn't need to announce itself. And once that contrast was visible, it became impossible not to notice how differently another royal figure chooses to be seen. The Meghan contrast, fanfare and filters. Where Catherine's approach is quiet and restrained, Meghan's public appearances often arrive with spectacle. Whether intentional or not, the contrast is striking.
But I want to just go back to that moment of as you and your husband were planning this out, how did you think about what you wanted to do, what your ambitions could do, and from your seat, what you could do for women?
Well, I think 5 years ago was a very different situation for all of us.
In recent years, Meghan's outings have frequently involved visible security, tightly controlled settings, and carefully curated moments that draw attention rather than deflect it. One often cited example was her appearance at a Broadway musical in New York, where reports noted a noticeable motorcade, a heavy security presence, and advanced coordination. The event itself was ordinary, but the scale of the arrival raised eyebrows, particularly when compared to senior royals who routinely move with far less fuss. Despite the precautions, the public response was minimal. No crowds, no disruption, just significant effort for little attention. Another moment fueling debate came from behind-the-scenes accounts of a U.S. talk show appearance, where staff were reportedly given strict instructions about movement and eye contact. Exaggerated or not, the story reinforced a growing perception that Meghan's image depends on control and protection from unscripted moments. Add her polished online presence, filtered photos, and carefully timed releases, and a pattern emerges. Meghan doesn't simply appear, she arrives. And for critics, that raises an uncomfortable question. Is heightened security driven by genuine risk, or by the image being projected? That question isn't just being asked online, it's being weighed quietly inside government offices as well. Why Catherine's moves matter to government. To the British government, security decisions are procedural, precedent-based, and closely tied to public perception, not emotion. That's why Catherine's movements, though personal in appearance, carry institutional weight. When a senior royal with global recognition goes about daily life with minimal disruption, it becomes a powerful reference point for policymakers.
Now, President Donald Trump has singled out Princess Kate during his state banquet speech at Windsor Castle, praising her as radiant, healthy, and so beautiful as she...
Catherine is one of the most recognizable women in the world, yet she is frequently seen shopping, attending private dinners, or spending time with her children without large motorcades or visible security. These moments rarely make headlines, and that's the point. They demonstrate how discretion, planning, and cooperation with security services can significantly reduce risk. For officials reviewing Prince Harry's ongoing security appeals, this example matters. Government departments must justify any publicly funded protection using clear evidence of threat and necessity. Catherine's low-profile approach challenges the idea that prominence alone requires heightened security, showing that how someone moves through public space can matter as much as who they are. Public accountability also plays a role. Taxpayer-funded security is closely scrutinized, particularly during economic strain. When voters see one royal living quietly while another demands expanded protection abroad, comparisons are inevitable. And as policy shifts quietly behind closed doors, public opinion has been shifting just as steadily in plain sight, losing the public and the narrative. For Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, public perception was once a strength. Their early interviews, global wedding, and promises of modernizing the monarchy sparked admiration and optimism. Meghan famously said she believed the role would allow her to hit the ground running, while Harry later insisted the couple were trying to build a happier life.
I don't want history to repeat itself. I do not want to be a single dad. And I certainly don't want my children to have a life without a mother or a father.
Over time, however, that goodwill has eroded. Especially in the UK, the public they once captivated now responds with growing skepticism as stories about demands, security, and celebrity appearances continue to circulate. Much of this shift comes down to messaging. While the Sussexes portray themselves as private citizens seeking normalcy, their actions, celebrity partnerships, red carpet moments, and media exclusives often suggest otherwise. Harry has repeatedly said he and Meghan never walked away from their roles and were instead forced out. Yet for many Britons, his requests for publicly funded security while living abroad in luxury sit uncomfortably. The contradiction raises questions about entitlement, responsibility, and priorities. Meanwhile, narratives from the palace and Catherine's quiet example are proving more persuasive than any press strategy. Meghan once said that not many people have asked if I'm okay, expressing her isolation. But when the Princess of Wales dines locally, shops discreetly, and moves without disruption, it challenges the idea that royal life requires constant protection. The public notices. Social media, polling, and headlines reflect the change. Sympathy has faded, frustration has grown. Harry himself has acknowledged the divide, saying he feels there is no other option but to keep fighting. Whether fair or not, the Sussexes now face a steep climb to regain public trust in Britain, which leaves one unavoidable question hanging in the air. Where does this path actually lead for them now? What comes next for the Sussexes? With their royal titles intact but their public image strained, particularly in the UK, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle face a defining moment. Their future no longer depends on headlines, but on how they navigate life without automatic royal approval. The issue now goes beyond security or status. It's about identity. Who are they without the institution they left behind? Professionally, the Sussexes continue to pursue media projects, brand deals, and advocacy work, but results have been mixed. High-profile Netflix and Spotify agreements generated early buzz, yet follow-through and public response have been uneven. What was once a brand rooted in empathy and reform now faces fatigue and skepticism. Privately, their path forward may require a shift. Regaining trust, especially in Britain, likely won't come through lawsuits or spectacle, but through consistency, restraint, and measurable impact. Meanwhile, Catherine's quiet example continues to set the royal standard. As the contrast sharpens, the Sussexes must decide whether to redefine themselves or keep chasing a narrative that's slipping away. The royal spotlight may have moved on, but the questions surrounding Harry and Meghan remain. As Catherine continues to lead by quiet example, the Sussexes face the hard reality that public trust isn't guaranteed. It's earned. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, make sure to like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories that go beyond the surface. And don't forget, click the next video on your screen to keep watching. There's always more to uncover.